Los Angeles, California. 615-737-1045. You can jump in if you like. But in the meantime, we got Bridget Condon of the NFL Network hanging out here with us. She's been covering the Bengals all week long, and I don't know how we should talk about this in a way that's not just going to deeply, deeply hurt Titans fans, Bridget.
I guess I just won't start by throwing out some McPherson knowledge or nicknames, Mac Money. I don't think Titans fans want to talk about him, but it's okay. I mean, if your team's not in it, they can root for the AFC team? No?
It's 0% chance.
Okay, fine.
0% chance. At Bridget Condon _ is where you can follow her on social media. Evan McPherson, though, the kicker, is a phenomenon. Like, he has been unbelievable throughout the course of this postseason. 52 and 54-yarders in Tennessee to knock them off, and he's done it in every playoff game that they've had.
Yeah, he's 12 for 12 this postseason. 2 game winners. He said this week in availability that he grew up watching Adam Vinatieri. He's 3 field goals away from breaking his record for most field goals made in a postseason, which is absolutely incredible. He said he watched him in those Patriot games, Super Bowl playoffs, and he's like, yeah, every little kid's dream is to kick a field goal in the Super Bowl. I don't know that it'll come down to that, but, maybe. But he is got this confidence that the Bengals just walk around with Joe Burrow maybe rubbing off on him a little. And his teammate, Uzama, said he's like a 7-year-old running around a playground. Just no care in the world. He's like a menace, just kicking field goals, doesn't even realize how big of an opportunity, how big of a moment he's in.
Now, you bring up C.J. Uzama, the tight end for the Bengals. It was pretty interesting after the fact. I think he was on Chris Collinsworth's podcast, and he was talking about the Titans, and they could tell, the Bengals could, or at least C.J. felt, that the Titans were scared of that Bengals team, and that started all manner of fires here in Tennessee throughout the course of the weeks that we've been talking about this. But this Bengals team, man, I don't know. You've been covering them at this point. You've been around them a great deal. The confidence that they have, I don't know if there's a way to quantify it, but it is palpable the way that they carry themselves.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting because we all on the outside are like they're the underdogs, right? But week in and week out,
they're the Bengals.
Yeah, it's the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
That's
we
what
were
I'm
at
saying.
we were at the set of Friends yesterday doing some studio tour, and we were like, whoever told you life would be this way? The Bengals are in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
That is
but
incredible.
yeah,
How many times you use that line? Be honest with me.
now just once. Me and Adam Rank from NFL Network kind of made a parody of the whole song. It was like,
nice.
Will Joe be there for you? Really? They were always stuck in second gear. But no, I think this team has risen to the occasion multiple times, and that's what all the guys say. They're like, we don't care what anyone else thinks. We think we're good. We've proven it, and it's something about the chemistry of that team. They're all playing for each other. You see this in professional sports primarily, less in college, where there's one star, right, and he just wants to be the best, and the egos take over locker rooms. But for the Bengals, for whatever reason, the practice squad guys, the starters, the backups, they're all getting along.
Yeah.
And there's no ego trying to take over. And I think it's worked for them.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Bridget Condon of the NFL Network here with us on 104.5 The Zone, talking Super Bowl 56 live from Radio Row. So you're like me. You're first timer out here in this thing.
This is my first time at any Super Bowl.
I've been to Super Bowls. This is my first time having a radio show and being on Radio Row.
No, it's absolutely wild. I remember being in North Carolina last year watching NFL Network's coverage of the Super Bowl thinking, wow, it looks like they're having so much fun. Wow, that's so cool. And now I'm a part of it. Like, it's surreal. It literally gives me chills to think about.
Have you had like a starstruck moment yet? Like, I know we're pretty early into this. Is there anybody of the level of celebrity that would make you take a step back and be like, oh, wow, that's huge. I'm in the
So you
same
clearly
room.
didn't watch on Monday and see my interview with Danny Trejo.
Whoa!
No, I haven't
fired.
seen anyone crazy yet. NFL honors tomorrow night. I'm doing some red carpet stuff, and I think that's where I'll probably be like, whoa, okay, it's happening.
That's going to be really cool. NFL honors, you bring that up with Mike Vrabel and the season that they had, understanding that the regular season didn't end the way that they would have liked it to, or rather the postseason didn't end the way that it would have liked to. He's being discussed as one of the favorites for Coach of the Year. And, I don't know I don't know how excited he's going to be if he ends up winning that award tomorrow. But what has been your view of the Titans throughout the course of this season ultimately ending in that loss to the Bengals and the job that Mike Vrabel did.
Yeah, I think he did an incredible job with that team, and they were kind of the hype all around, right? And kind of just fell off in the postseason. I don't know exactly what happened or what.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what happened. I saw three interceptions, Bridget.
But I mean, if a team is that stable, you're winning, the regular season, you get the number 1 seed, and what happened. I think it's a lot to build on, though, right? Now these guys have that year of experience. They have that chip on their shoulder. I think good things are coming for the Titans. Obviously, I'm on a Nashville radio show, so I'm going to say good things about the Titans.
You don't got. Listen, I say plenty of bad things about the Titans. You don't got to pander.
I don't know if I would pick Mike Vrabel as my coach of the year, but
okay.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
I don't know. I'm biased right now because I've been covering Zach Taylor all week.
No, but I think that's interesting because I feel like a lot of people, didn't for the longest. I'm an NFL reporter, Bridget. I didn't know what Zach Taylor looked like for the longest time.
He moves in silence.
I did not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Lasagna.
But I think just hearing from the players and the culture that they have in that locker room, they all relate it back to Zach Taylor and what he did when he got there. And he also, that team, they wanted to bring on guys. There's only one player on the team who's ever played in or been to a Super Bowl, but they wanted to bring on these guys from LSU, from Ohio State, from Alabama, from Clemson. They understand the pressure, and I think that's kind of overlooked of the kind of guys that they have been able to bring to that team. Even though they're young, they still have that mindset of, I can go into a big game and I'm not going to get blown away by the pressure.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about how these two teams got here, right? Because you look at the Rams, they're pulling in everybody: Odell Beckham Jr., Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford. It's star power driven, and they've, we'll see what their future looks like, but they've clearly gone all in.
They've gone LA.
They have absolutely gone LA, and then. I had a couple callers bring up throughout the course of the week, well, these are two opposites in the way that the Rams are constructed and the way that the Bengals have built their team, but it's really just the offense that's been so draft-focused, whereas this defense has quite a few new starters that they've reconstructed through free agency to kind of put them over the top.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting. It was such a weird NFL season.
Yeah.
I think if you had said Rams-Bengals beginning of the season, everyone would have laughed. And I think anyone could, it kind of feels like March Madness almost. There's never a time in the NFL where it's there's a Cinderella story, there's an upset, right? Because there's just guys that are built bigger than other guys and guys that are trained better, and they just destroy them, right?
Yeah.
There's so many less upsets, I would say, usually than there has been this year.
No,
so it's just so strange. But yeah, I think the Rams have such a veteran leadership going on with Aaron Donald. He's been in a Super Bowl. 10 of their players have been to a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, he has not played in a Super Bowl, but he's been around for 13 years. And so I think that veteran leadership, Andrew Whitworth, God, you gotta love a guy like him. You gotta be rooting for him.
Only because he's 40 years old and he's still playing offensive line. That sounds horrific to me.
If I'm 40 years old and still getting out of the bed, props to me. But he's playing O-line, that's crazy. And it's just a cool story too. Drafted by the Bengals, of course. And I think these two teams are different, but I don't know. Who are you picking? Are we talking picks?
We can do picks. I'm so loath to do score predictions because I don't think there's a bigger waste of breath in our industry. But every time I look at a team that the Bengals are playing, I think that the Bengals should lose. And every time that I think that they should lose, they find ways to win, whether it's Patrick Mahomes looking like Blaine Gabbert in the second half of the AFC Championship game, or the way that they've caused turnovers on each of their opponent's final possession from Vegas to Tennessee to Kansas City. It's hard for me to not look at the Bengals and be like, all right, they've made it this far, so what the hell do I know?
Yeah, I'm worried about their O-line, though, right? That's been the question mark all season. And then you go up against Von Miller, Aaron Donald. Then you got Jalen Ramsey covering, in the back. I don't know. Joe Burrow, most sacked quarterback in the NFL regular season, 51 times. Already hit 12 times in the postseason. How much more can he take? I know it is only one more game they got to get through, and they're going to work on him getting the ball out of his hands faster.
But this is a hell of a pass rush to have for your last game.
And Aaron Donald is playing with everything he got. Von Miller probably is, on his way out, on his way. So I think those guys are really going to give it their all. I don't know that they can sustain it. But again, like you said, I mean, they were down 21-10 to the Chiefs at halftime. Everyone already had probably Kansas City. I know.
I thought they were dead.
Yeah, literally. Everyone was like, yep, Kansas City going to another Super Bowl. And what happened?
No. Bridget Condon of the NFL Network is our guest here on 104.5 The Zone. So you've been covering the Bengals this week. What's one thing you learned about Joe Burrow that you didn't know or that surprised you in covering them leading up to this game?
Ooh, I mean, I think we all know about Joe being calm, cool, collective, right? I didn't know that when he was playing Pee Wee football, his coach said to him, hey, Joe, you want to be quarterback? And he was like, no, I want to be a receiver or running back, because he didn't think that he would get the ball in his hands in Pee Wee, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be the quarterback. I want to run the ball. And his coach was like, too bad, you're playing quarterback. And so that's how Joe Burrow became a quarterback.
Just forced into it.
It's not like he was sitting there at home like, yeah, I'm going to be the star of the team. I'm going to be the quarterback. But wow, what would a world look like if Joe Burrow was a wide receiver? He thinks he wouldn't have made the league.
I don't think he would have been in the Super Bowl. Respectfully to Joe, he seems to be a high caliber athlete, but I don't know if that's quite cutting it. Now you're based out of L.A., correct?
Yeah.
So what's it been like around the Rams? Because I mean, you can speak to this better than I can. I've got some friends that live out here, but L.A. doesn't necessarily scream pro football to me. And the way that they've kind of tried to rebuild this thing and reinvigorate interest, where you got all the star power in the NFC Championship game and the cameras flashing to Leonardo DiCaprio and all these different people who are there. What's kind of the environment been like around the Rams leading up to this?
Yeah, LA's kind of a weird place, right? You walk around, and I was actually just in the parking garage, and the guy was like, I was like, oh, where's the convention center? He's like, are you here for the Super Bowl? I'm like, are people not here for the Super Bowl? Like, in any other city, you would know that the Super Bowl is happening. LA is just another day. And I think that's been the challenge for the Rams, getting a fan base behind them, because there's the Lakers, there's the Dodgers, right? Like, and these events are more of like a show when you attend it, right? Less of like, I'm a diehard fan. But I think in order for the Rams to flip the page and get a big fan base, this is exactly what they want to do. This is what they need to do. Not only are they hosting the Super Bowl in LA, but the home team's playing.
Yeah.
So I think this can really turn the page if they're able to get a win in the Super Bowl. All these kids running around, I think that's where it's going to start, that next generation, because a lot of the older fans were kind of mad when they left, you know? And they're coming back around, but I think it's going to take some time, and definitely a win on Sunday will be a step in the right direction.
Are you picking the game?
Yeah, am I going to get in trouble? No, I don't know. Like,
listen, I'm asking you, all right?
Here's the thing, like, when you cover the league, you become less of a fan of one specific team. Like, I really don't care who wins the game. I want a good game. If I, had to make a decision, I think it's the Rams' time, but I think we're going to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the Super Bowl for years on out. And he might surprise us all, and I'm not going to be shocked if they win. I just think with guys like Aaron Donald, like Von Miller, like Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, like the list goes on of playmakers that they have on that team.
Bridget Condon of the NFL Network has been hanging out with us here on 104.5 The Zone. You on TV today?
Yeah, I was on 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah, no, I
this
saw
is the
that.
end of my shift.
Oh, bless you.
I'm going home and taking a nap.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
We'll be on tomorrow and Friday, same time, 4-8 Pacific, so 7-11 Eastern. I hate that.
We're
I hate
Central Time, too. It's miserable.
Oh, God, I hate having to do math. I'm like, wait, I don't know.
Listen, I almost didn't make my call time because I'm used to 10 a.m. Central Time. It's 2 hours earlier here. It was pretty touch and go there for a second. Bridget, I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks for being on the show again. It's been a lot of fun to have you.
Thanks so much for having me, and have fun the rest of the week.